Maritime Frontiers on VOP TV, as we discuss key areas in the maritime sector, from aquaculture, maritime transportation, maritime labor regulation, oil and gas exploration, ferry and passenger insurance, marine pollution and prevention, port operations, and lots more. Maritime Frontiers, exploring Nigeria's blue economy.
Are you ready for the extraordinary? Something big is happening on your screen. Introducing VOP TV. Now streaming on SLTV channel 264. From breaking news to captivating conversations, news analysis, giving you all sides to the story. We break in-depth discussions on the issues that matter, from politics to sports, entertainment, and lifestyle. VOP TV on SLTV channel 264. Join us as we redefine what television means to you. Voice of the People Television, VOP TV. Now you have more than a voice.
Welcome to the locker room, the home of football talk that matters. I am Jerry Arpehon. Join us every weekday, Monday to Friday at 5 p.m. Nigerian time, as we share the hot takes and hot debates in the exciting world of football. And joining me are the usual suspects, Ikechukwu and Mayowa, as we break down all the hot takes and everything that's happening in the football. Don't just watch football, live it with us. Catch us on the locker room and Voice of the People Television at 5 p.m. Nigerian time. And like I always say, if not 20 minutes off, with the sport.
This is African News on Voice of the People Television, where we don't just bring you the news, we bring you Africa's heartbeats, the policies that shapes our world, and the economy that determines our future. African News on Voice of the People Television. Stay with us.
My name is Tao Familoni, and here's to VOP TV. Keep watching, stay tuned, do not touch that dial.
Arararara, my name is Made Kuti and you're watching VOP TV. Keep watching.
Welcome, my name is Zika Davis. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, boys, viewers, everybody, boys and girls. This is VOP TV. Do you know what that means? Voice of the People TV. You don't have a voice, don't come here. You better make sure your voice is heard.
This is Health Check, your weekly guide to better living, smarter choices, and trusted answers. From everyday wellness to urgent health issues, we've got you covered. Health Check, only on Voice of the People Television, where your health has a voice.
Conversation and make your voice count. The people's voice. Make your voice count.
Well, hello and welcome to News Hour on Voice of the People TV. I am Vivian Uguche.
And I am Nenna Ndomdioto. Before we begin the news, kindly visit our website www.vop.ng for fresh and trending news. Here are the headlines. Abduction survivors recount a deal as Governor Sani receives them.
Also, IGP orders deployment of tactical and intelligence units to Kayama.
DHQ clarifies Nigeria's U.S. security ties.
NBA, Atiku, YPP criticize Senate over e-results rejection.
Abaribe confirms Senate backed e-voting transmission.
Well, on the foreign scene, U.S. Russia re-established dialogue amid Ukraine talks.
In business, Lagos launches cooking oil kiosk for $20 million biofuel market.
Well, in sports news, Showroom bags Nwabali living cheaper united.
And in the world of entertainment, Angela Okori apologizes to Mercy Johnson.
Now the news in detail. Survivors of the mass abduction in Kurumingwali village, Kaduna, have recounted the hardships they endured in captivity. They told newsmen in Kaduna that they survived on raw flour mixed with water and slept in the open forest for weeks. One female survivor holding her baby said the abductors fed them only 4 times. Governor Obasani, who received the victims at the state government house, described the reunion as a day of joy and thanksgiving. He also said security remains a top priority and revealed that the state has requested a military base along the Kajuru-Kachia axis.
The Nigeria Police Force has condemned the violent attack in Kayama local government area of Kwara State, which left 75 people dead. In a statement, acting ACP Benjamin Hundeyin, Force Public Relations Officer, said Inspector General of Police IGP Kayode Egbetokun extended his heartfelt condolences to the families of the victims as well as to the government and people of Kwara State. IGP Egbetokun has ordered immediate deployment of tactical, operational, and intelligence assets to Kayama and surrounding communities to restore calm, strengthen security presence, and prevent further attacks. An intensive manhunt has been launched for the perpetrators and all individuals connected to the heinous crime. Investigations are ongoing with all available resources mobilized to ensure those responsible identified, apprehended, and brought to justice. The police urged the public to remain calm and support security efforts by providing timely and credible information through the nearest police station or established communication channels. Meanwhile, President Bola Tinubu has directed the military to ensure that peace is restored to Kayama local government area of Kwara State. Governor Abdulrahman Abdulrazak disclosed this to journalists after a meeting behind closed doors with President Tinubu at the Presidential Villa, Abuja. He said President Tinubu directed the armed forces to move in and clean up the place and make sure peace and calm were restored. The governor, who said he came to brief the president on what happened, expressed confidence that the situation was under control as the commander for Operation Savannah Shield has reported in Ilorin, the state's capital, and has hit the ground running.
Meanwhile, the Turkish government has pledged support for Nigeria in its fight against terrorism. In a statement on its official X handle, Turkey expressed sadness over Tuesday's attacks on Kwara's Woro and Nuku communities, condemns the killings, and extended condolences to Nigeria and the families of the victim.
Moving on, the Defense Headquarters has clarified Nigeria's security partnership with the U.S. amid reports of American troops in the country. Major General Samaila Ubar said the cooperation focuses on capacity building, intelligence sharing, and counterterrorism, and fully respects Nigeria's sovereignty. He added that a recent high-level meeting in Abuja reviewed proposals to improve coordination and accountability, with civilian protection a top priority. Obari assured Nigerians that all partnerships are transparent, constitutional, and that the armed forces remain committed to protecting national sovereignty.
Meanwhile, the arrival of U.S. troops in Nigeria has sparked mixed reactions in Edo State. Some residents welcomed the deployment as a boost to ongoing security efforts, while others stressed the need for clear communication from authorities to prevent confusion. The debate highlights the challenge of balancing international support with Nigeria's responsibility for its own security. Our correspondent, Rhoda Jenny, reports.
Reports of U.S. troops arriving in Nigeria have sparked mixed reactions across Edo State, with residents sharing different views on the move, while some welcome the development as a boost to counter-tourism efforts. Others are concerned about national sovereignty and want clarity on the troops' role and direction.
It's very important for U.S. to intervene for insecurity in Nigeria, because if we depend on Nigeria forces, the nation are already corrupted and there's no longer truth among the leaders of Nigeria. It's only U.S. that can help Nigeria to combat insecurity.
Insecurity in Nigeria is ravaging Nigeria already. In fact, it's as if the whole thing is overpowering us. As far as I'm concerned now, Nigeria cannot combat insecurity again. In fact, the fact that the U.S. sent in troops to help us is a plus to us. If we can get a consistent assistance in this regard, I think it will go a long way.
The U.S. trade that came, it's a good idea and it's a good development to Nigeria. Because the insecurity in Nigeria is unbearable. We don't know what we are going to do. We don't know what the people are doing. We don't know what the Senate are doing. We don't know what the government are doing. So I commend them as far as they want to rescue the country.
The security of this country by U.S. that is coming to this country is welcome. And also, at least they can brief up our security in Nigeria. And all this kidnapping, killing of our fellow citizens, it will still reduce. Because I can feel that at least we, the Nigerians, our army, the security agency we have in Nigeria, there are some people behind them that they cannot fight our democracy.
Overall, opinions in Edo State remain divided. While international support is welcomed by some, most agree that safeguarding the country is first and foremost the duty of Nigerian authorities. From VOP, I am Rhoda Johnny.
Thank you very much, Rhoda. Still in the news, Nigeria's First Lady Oluremi Tinubu has met with U.S. President Donald Trump. The First Lady met with Trump at the 74th Annual National Prayer Breakfast on Capitol Hill, where the American president invited her to join him on stage after describing her as a very respected woman who serves as a pastor at the largest church in Nigeria. Trump's remarks highlight the First Lady's dual role as a national leader and religious figure, underscoring her prominence both within Nigeria and on the international stage. The National Prayer Breakfast is an annual event that brings together political leaders, faith leaders, and dignitaries from around the world for prayer, reflection, and dialogue on matters of faith, leadership, and national development.
Well, away from security matters, condemnation, or should we say away from protests recognizing Remi Tinubu now, condemnations continue over the Senate's rejection of a proposed amendment to the Electoral Act, which sought to compel INEC to transmit polling unit results electronically in real time. The Nigerian Bar Association, former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, the Young Progressive Party, and concerned Nigerians have all criticized the decision. NBA President Afam Osigwe calls the Senate's refusal a setback to electoral transparency and democratic accountability. Atiku described the move as a deliberate assault on Nigeria's electoral credibility, saying it undermines public trust and reform efforts. The Young Progressive Party said the critical amendment on electronic transmission was deliberately avoided to protect a system benefiting the political elite. VOP TV's Matthew Ogunsuada spoke with residents in Lagos on the development.
Has passed the Electoral Act 2022 Amendment Bill. following his third reading on the floor of the Red Chamber. However, lawmakers rejected a proposed amendment to Clause 60, subsection 3 of the bill that sought to make the electronic transmission of election results mandatory. The rejected provision would require presiding officers of the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) to electronically transmit election results from each polling unit to the INEC result viewing portal in real time after the prescribed form had been signed, stamped, and countersigned by party agents. Instead, the Senate adopted the existing provision of the Electoral Act, which states that the presiding officer shall transfer the results, including the total number of accredited voters and the results of the ballot, in a manner as prescribed by the Commission. Reacting to the development, Senate President Godswill Akpabio denied claims that the Senate had rejected electronic transmission of election results, which is already provided for in the Electoral Act. As Voice of the People TV, we got the opinion of Nigerians towards this new development.
Before people come out to vote, the INEC chairman, the people in the higher position, they have already made a plan of the person they want to be in that seat. This last election, you see that in many places people did not vote due to they were attacked by thugs. People's votes were thrown away. It was not counted. The same day, before 6 o'clock, INEC already declared their candidates. Whether we vote here or we vote there, the vote doesn't count.
INEC have a lot of things to do. We have urban area, rural area. All those rural areas, they don't know anything about electronic voting. Some, they didn't even put them through how to even print. So for Nigeria, it's not going to work like that.
I think basically what the people are looking at is credibility, and they want to be sure that their votes would count. They want to be sure that every vote casted reflects their desire to put a certain aspirant in office. So it stems from a place of credibility. They want to make sure that their candidates get into the positions they wish them to get into. So I don't see anything wrong in them clamoring for that. I think it's just a form of reassurance for them.
As we've heard from citizens, opinions remain divided regarding the Senate decision on the Electoral Act amendment. While some trust INEC's discretion, others feel that mandatory electronic transmission remains key to transparent elections across the country. However, one thing remains clear: the call for credible, free and fair election remains consistent across the country. Matthew Ogunswada, reporting for Voice of the People Television.
Well, in Abuja, the nation's capital city, residents in separate interviews with correspondent Abigail Oga described the rejection of electronic transfer of results by the Nigerian Senate as betrayal of public trust.
Who expressed divergent views said, what makes the present lawmakers think they would always be beneficiaries of a flawed system? Those who refuse to do the right thing today for narrow partisan interests may untimely become victims of their own actions tomorrow. This National Assembly has, since its inauguration in 2023, left no one in doubt that it swore an oath, a rubber stamp of the current executive.
Why a whole Nigeria, we can't even put our hands in the right thing to do? But we look at it, it's not what is not supposed to be right thing. That's why the government will wake up and put their hand. It's not the right thing. If Nigeria will say yes, we're going to vote when the election is coming 2027, it's a thing of that. We can't even think about it. Look at our education today. The education is moving forward, and we are talking about election. Election where they after hiding the money. What type of country we are? What type of country is this? Nigeria, we are not going forward, we are going backward. Let them go and wake up very well. They should go back to the drawing book. Go back. See, if they don't know what they are doing in this country, let them just go back to their villages. There are people they can employ. Let them go back. Let Akpabio and the rest sitting down there, taking tea and what they are enjoying. Let them go back. They should not spoil this country. They should not allow other country to laugh at us.
So just like in Abia State where I came from, the present governor have been doing well
massively. But a set of, let me not just use false words, a group of people who are not interested about people, they now came out, try to tarnish the man so that they can gain access into the power and ruin the state again. So the same thing is still happening both in National Assembly. They are not there for anybody. They are just there for themselves. Because that Electoral Act for transmission, that is just like America. America, you can be in your office and vote, and it will indicate anywhere people are going about their businesses and still voting. But Nigeria here, everything we we just stand still just for them to do whatever they are doing.
Anything that any one of us is doing against the constitution of the country is a kind of violence against the people of Nigeria. So I am calling on the National Assembly and the federal government, because this is an opportunity. We're having some elections lined up. FCC election is coming up, or Osun State election is coming up. We need to use this as a test run. If they say, okay, it was rejected. If it was rejected, let the government go back to the drawing board and represent it officially. You understand? So that is if it is not lawful for it to be transmitted electronically. But if it is lawful for it to be transmitted electronically, then the National Assembly should accept and proceed with the Constitution so that Nigerians will not suffer.
They, however, urged Nigerians not to waver in the face of setbacks such as this, with sustained vigilance and collective resolve. The outcome of the 2027 elections can still reflect the true will of the Nigerian people. I am Abigail Oga, reporting for VOP TV in Abuja.
Thank you very much, Abigail. In the meantime, some senators have reaffirmed that Clause 60, subsection 3 of the Electoral Act Amendment Bill on real-time electronic transmission of election results was passed by the Senate. 13 senators, led by Senator Abaribe, made a clarification at a news conference in Abuja, responding to reports that the clause had been rejected. Abaribe explained that a joint committee of electoral committee members from both chambers worked on the bill, and another committee was set up to harmonize the Senate and House versions. He added that after Wednesday's plenary adjournment, the Senate did not reconvene to approve the vote and proceedings, but a majority of senators across party lines support real-time electronic transmission of results.
Elsewhere, Anambra State resident Electoral Commissioner Elizabeth Agu is urging eligible Nigerians to take part in the ongoing continuous voter registration and obtain their permanent voter cards. Speaking in Oka, Agu said having a PVC is increasingly important in Nigeria's socio-political and economic life. Our correspondent, Undu Opalese, has more.
President Electoral Commissioner Dr. Agu disclosed that registration for 2027 general elections commenced on the 5th of January to end on 17th of April 2026 and charged prospective voters in the state to take advantage of the exercise. According to Agu, 4,423 prospective voters have registered since January 5.
This is the second phase of the voters registration. Please encourage your people, those around you, to go and register. We have done 4 weeks now. The first week, which is from the 5th of January to the 12th of January, we had 0. There was nobody who registered. Second week of the exercise, we have 936 persons that registered. Third week of the exercise, we have 1,832 persons registered. Fourth week of the exercise, which is just the concluded last week, we had 1,455, bringing it together to 4,423 persons that have registered.
The reg further explained that the system cleaned up those who engaged in unlawful act of double registration as they were not able to vote during the recent governorship elections. She said issues of card missing, change of location, deleting or defacing of PVC can be handled differently instead of going for another process of capturing.
This card no longer serves for only voting. It serves for other means, including self-identification, including bank activities, all other means the card serves. That's one of the most authentic documents of identification in this country today.
Ndo Okpaleze, VOP TV News.
Undu, thank you. In another development, the Federal Capital Territory High Court in Abuja has sentenced former Nexim Bank Managing Director Robert Oyer to 490 years in prison for 2.4 billion naira fraud. Justice F.E. Misiri said Oyer to 10 years for each of the 49 counts filed by the EFCC to run concurrently. Oyer, who led Nexim from 2009 to 2016, was arraigned in November 2021 on charges of fraud and abuse of office. The EFCC said he used his position to obtain over 1.4 billion fraudulently, incorporating a company and using the names of non-existent or unaware individuals to secure loans that were never repaid.
Joining us virtually to analyze the news hour is Chijioke Oji. Oji is a public affairs analyst. Glad to have you join us, Chijioke.
Good evening. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, good evening. Okay, let's start with this. Survivors of the mass abduction in Tambuwal village, Kaduna, have recounted the hardships they endured in captivity. I'm sure you've been following the story for quite some time. For I think 3 weeks ago or two, about 2 weeks plus, these people were captured, were abducted from their churches, and now we've seen them rescued, and it's still the same story. These people are rescued, and nobody knows anything about if ransom was paid, if anything was. The government is silent about this. What do you make of this development? Almost 3 weeks after, these people are back to their village. Yes, what do you make of it?
Well, first of all, I want to express gratitude for their safe return, and also to express deep disappointment with the current administration in Kaduna State, especially with the CP of the state that is meant to be charged with the responsibility of protecting the internal security of the people and the places, joined by the military, who were meant to be protecting the territorial border of Kaduna State and the nationality of our dear nation. We'll recall that shortly after the residents raised concerns over this kidnap, the state governor, along with the commissioner of police, with the security chiefs, as they now wish to address themselves, convened a meeting, and in the meeting they said that the community were laying false allegations and even encouraged them that if they did have otherwise proof, they should come forward with it. Today we're glad that the same state governor is receiving the people and, as usual, would claim rescue. Let us not forget that the immediate past governor of the same state, in the person of Nasser El-Rufai, made an allegation that is yet to be disputed at the national and at the state level, where he told the world, not just Nigerians, about the continued state funding and payment of feeding and allowances from the Office of the National Security Advisor to the President. And in a witty wash, Nigerians dared the NSA that if he felt that the Malam and the Nasser El-Rufai was telling a lie, invite him and detain him or charge him for perjury. or falsifications or misinformation. We didn't hear any of that. Now the state governors have showcased the continued cooperations of these state acts of terrorism that is now bedeviled the innocent, poor Nigerians. Because we're not hearing of the rich or the thieves, the criminals, at the various assemblies, be it at the national or of various administrative positions that are not being included to be captured in this whole exercise that is now a state orchestrated drama. Every time we hear, oh, there's a kidnap, there's an assurance, the people are okay. Then a few days later, we don't know what transpires, and then sometimes the people return safely. Some are hot, unaccounted for till today. We have not seen the real seriousness of the current administration to tackle this menace. And then they continue to give the impression that they are in charge and want to remain perpetual in the same offices. There is no perfect word to describe the level of calamity or failure that is bedeviled our dear nation, Nigeria, especially with the kind of creatures that are at the helm of affairs in different spheres of Nigeria today. It is a pity, it is abominable, and it is indeed, unfathomable that the Nigerians are too weak to wake up to their responsibility of demanding for responsibility of leadership.
Yeah, but how would Nigerians do that, Chijoke? How would Nigerians do that?
Omo Eleshowore and me, along with so many comrades and other people, millions and thousands of Nigerians have continued to clamor for insistent demonstration peacefully that if it is not heard, can take the steps to shut down the government by completely blocking the entire whole systems. Laws are made for man and not the other way. So if all the laws are made and we're all meant to be equal before the law, then we must be in a nation that works with law and order. And the one way is to ask for a complete overhaul of the entire failed systems currently being operated in Nigeria. And the people can demand for that equity, fairness, and justice by making their voices heard through their demonstrations. We must realize that it is not the destruction of our properties that will redeem this. So I'm not encouraging any form of violence.
I'm glad you said that.
We can technically shut it down.
Yeah, but can I come in here? You describe Nigeria as a failed nation. Yeah, this is me paraphrasing. But just yesterday, MD World Operations, the MD Operations World Bank came to Nigeria, visited President Tinubu, and congratulated him, saying that Nigeria has become a reference point when it comes to success in governance and economic reforms. That's on the one hand. And then go ahead.
They were mocking Nigeria because the same World Bank just a few months back, I think probably in September, October last year, told Nigerians in the state city capital of Lagos that if indeed it is meant to, that the current administration, for any iota of seriousness, continue on the path to success of implementation of open, transparent system, that it will take Nigeria the next 15 years by the projection of the same bank, that it will take Nigeria the minimum of 15 years for us to begin to see the skirmishes of iota of development. And what is the word term development? Perhaps to what General Muhammad Buhari left Nigeria. Not even achieving anything meaningful beyond that. Because what they're saying is, look at the comparative to the level of people that have become poor overnight. Look at what the nation has transferred, that We say we're earning more and we're spending money like it is now the refuse toilet rolls. How do you explain to an individual economist who comes on a live television to fool Nigerians under the mindset that the government is doing well? How can the government be doing well when its currency is becoming valueless? It's not producing anything. There is nothing in Nigeria that today is said to be working.
Well, Chijoke,
is it the power that was left by the former administration at almost 6,000 megawatts that has now been reduced to a mere 2,900 megawatts?
Can I come in here? Before my colleague Olina takes you to Kwara, I'd like to draw you back to what we're talking about now, Kaduna. From what you said earlier on, I perceive that you're bothered that there are rescues, but the perpetrators are not brought to book, right? Because they said that they are police. The defense and the spokesperson to the president told Nigerians that the military are working with these perpetrators. It's not my word. He said it on a live television, that the military are in talks and in fact, he used the word in relationship with them. I dare him to sue me to court if he's saying that it is not what he said, because I watched it. I'm not alleging. I'm quoting verbatim the words of the presidential mouthpiece of the president, who told the world that the current president's Ministry of Defense and the military are in talks and in relationship with the perpetrators. So how can you bring them to book? Is it not the same people that are defending and saying that it is even good that the people are brought back in safety than more casualties? But forgetting that in most cases, casualties occur. And in most cases, it is our heroes that are falling. They meant to be defenders of the territory are killed, unaccounted for. The innocent police officers are maimed and killed, unaccounted for. And we are still strolling like as if everything is normal. And this continued deception and childish is becoming childish, because whenever they're saying A, we can see the B, C, D. It is clear they're not in control. This government and current administration have failed in all ramification, be it on economical, be it on the security, be it on even data. And it is a shame that the same administration is even working or asking to be retained. Is it for Nigerians to reinforce failure? It is the most abominable thing or request that we should be even be talking about today.
Oh, okay, thank you very much, Chijoke, for you've been very, very intelligent in your analysis and, of course, passionate in responding to these questions. We'll have to draw the curtains at this point. Thank you very much, Chijoke, for being a part of the News Hour.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah. We've been speaking with Chijoke Orji, who is a public affairs analyst. We'll take a break, and when we return, we'll bring you more stories. To stay with us. Glad to have you back. Islamic leaders under the League of Imams and Alfars on Yoruba land have announced that Ramadan will begin on Wednesday, February 18, 2026. The announcement came after a meeting in Ibadan and was read to journalists by the Grand Mufti of Yoruba land, Sheikh Abdulrazak Abdulaziz Ishola. Senior Islamic leaders attended, including the League's President General, the Chief Imams of Ibadan, Ogun, Osun, and Ondo states, and scholars from across the Southwest. In a communique, the League said the date was based on astronomical calculations and international Islamic calendar resolutions.
Well, in another development, the federal government has begun repairs on damaged expansion joints and major bridges along Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, starting with Kara Bridge. The move aims to reduce accidents and improve safety. The Federal Controller of Works in Ogun State said the repairs were approved by the Minister of Works, Dave Umahi, after reports that the failing joints were causing frequent accidents. He noted that heavy traffic had repeatedly damaged the joints despite previous repairs. He also added that the road would remain open, but lanes would be narrowed around the work areas. Traffic management will involve the FRSC, police, Lagos State Traffic Management Authority, and the Nigeria Security.
Teachers have welcomed the resumption of activities after the strike, returning to classrooms with renewed energy. During visits to several primary and secondary schools in the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, teachers and students urged the government to do the needful, noting that while unions negotiate at the top, children and families at the grassroots bear the cost. Our correspondent, Abigail Oga, monitored the resumption and reports.
Reacting, the head teacher 1 and head girl of LEA Festival Road Primary School and Government Secondary School Area 10 Garaki said, teachers are not enemies of progress, they are its architects. Their voices represented through unions like NUT and supported by the NLC must be held and respected. Because when teachers walk out, it's not just a job action, it's a cry for justice. And when no one listens, an entire generation stands to lose.
We are happy to call off the strike. You can see we have resumed and work has commenced. You can see all the children, all of them are in the class. No one wants to go on strike. Even when we are at home, we're not happy. Even the union, they don't want to go on strike. We are only begging them. They should please look at our condition. They should please answer us.
The government should pay our teachers so we are not going to go on strike again.
I'm so happy that learning is in progress and I want the government to pay our teachers so that we will not go on strike again. I am happy that we have resumed the school. I pray government listen to the teachers. We don't want to stay at home again.
We thank God we have resumed and the school is teaching well. We thank God and we thank all our leaders from the president to the minister. We thank all of them.
You will recall in recent months, tens of thousands of Nigerian children have found themselves locked out of school gates, their classrooms deserted, their teachers on strike. In the Federal Capital Territory, FCT, more than 400 public primary schools have remained closed for nearly 4 months due to a protracted dispute between teachers and the government over unpaid salary arrears and allowances. On the government side are local authorities, including area councils in the FCT, some of which have been accused by union leaders of diverting funds meant for teachers. This breakdown of trust between workers, their representatives, and the state lies at the core of the crisis. I am Abigail Oga reporting for VOP TV in Abuja.
Abigail, thank you. In another development, the Lagos State Primary Healthcare Board says it has reached 89% of its target in the ongoing child immunization campaign. Dr. Ibrahim Mustafa, the board's permanent secretary, credited the success to strong collaboration between government, health workers, community leaders, and parents. He announced a map-up phase to vaccinate children missed during the initial drive, stressing that routine immunization is safe, effective, and free.
We'll take another break, and when we return, we'll bring you foreign stories, business, sports, and entertainment after the break. Glad to have you back. The United States and Russia have agreed to re-establish high-level military-to-military dialogue following talks in Abu Dhabi as part of efforts to normalize ties between the two nations. The U.S. military stated that the aim of re-establishing the mechanism is to avoid miscalculation and escalation by either side. The dialogue was suspended in 2021, just before Russia's invasion of Ukraine, which has become the deadliest war in Europe since World War II. General Alexis Grentrichik, commander of U.S. European Command, held talks with senior Russian and Ukrainian military officials in Abu Dhabi, where the agreement was reached. The re-establishment of military communication comes as the U.S. and Russia engage in talks aimed at ending the conflict in Ukraine. U.S. Special Envoy Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner, President Donald Trump's son-in-law, also participated in the talks.
Well, in business news, the Lagos State government has launched household-used cooking oil collection kiosks across the state to promote environmental protection, public health, and climate action, while tapping into a potential $20 million biofuel market. The initiative, unveiled at an event with government officials, private sector partners, environmental experts, and youth representatives, aims to position Lagos as a key player in the global biofuel supply chain. LASEPA General Manager Babatunde Ajayi said the program will also tackle pollution and health risks linked to improper disposal of used cooking oil. He noted that Lagos alone could produce about half of Nigeria's used cooking oil. Dayo Adebayo, LASEPA's Director of Environmental Sustainability, describes the initiative as inclusive and grassroots-driven, noting that kiosks at zonal offices will encourage participation across all genders and socio-economic groups.
And now to sports, former Nigerian goalkeeper Ike Shoromu has welcomed the decision of Super Eagles goalkeeper Stanley Nwabali to end his contract with Shippa United in South Africa. 29-year-old joined Shippa United from Katsina United in the NPFL in 2022 and made about 70 appearances for the club. Reacting to the development, Shoromu, in an interview, noted that there is no better time to leave Shippa United than now. He also urged the agent to secure the right deal for the Nigerian international that will make him a better goalkeeper.
Well, in the world of entertainment, Nollywood actress Angela Okorie has apologized to her colleague Mercy Johnson. The apology follows Okorie's recent arrest in Lagos and her remand at the Suleja Correctional Center over alleged cyber-related offenses linked to their field. The dispute began last year after Okorie made controversial remarks about Johnson's health. In a video shared on Instagram after her release, Okorie apologized to Johnson and her family, blaming the fallout on industry gossip and misunderstandings, and saying she no longer seeks conflict.
Still in the world of entertainment, U.S. streamer Kai Cenat visited the Makoko Children's School Orphanage Home in Lagos as part of his ongoing support for the community. 24-year-old, whose strip has drawn wide online attention, spent time dancing, painting, and playing with the children, describing the experience as pleasing. He also distributed school bags, uniforms, and other educational materials, while reaffirming a strong connection to Nigeria.
Well, it's a wrap for us in News Hour, but before we go, a quick look at the headlines. We told you that abduction survivors recount ordeals as Governor Sani receives them.
Also, IGP orders deployment of tactical and intelligence units to Kayama.
DHQ clarifies Nigeria-US security ties.
NBA, Atiku, and YPP criticize Senate over e-results rejection.
Also, Abaribe confirms Senate-backed e-voting transmission.
On the foreign scene, US and Russia re-establish dialogue amid Ukraine talks.
Well, in business news, we told you that Lagos launches cooking oil kiosks for $20 million biofuel market.
And sports, Shoromi backs Nwabali, leaving Shippa United.
Well, in the world of entertainment, Angela Okorie apologizes to Mercy Johnson.
Do well to subscribe to our YouTube channel. On YouTube, we are Voice of the People Television. And on other social media platforms, we are at VOP TV Live. If you witness news happening near you, we want to hear from you. Send your eyewitness report, event coverage request, photos or videos directly via WhatsApp to 0814-606-4057. You can also reach our newsroom by email at news@vop.ng. I am Nenna Ndomdioto.
And I'm Vivian Uguche. Thank you for watching.
VOP TV. Now, you have more than a voice.
We encourage you to click on the like button and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are Voice of the People TV. Also follow us on all our social media platforms. We are at VOP TV Live. Visit our website www.vop.ng for fresh and trending news. Also watch us live on SLTV channel 264, VOP TV, Voice of the People Television.
Join us as we drive into the world of politics through insightful interviews with prominent political figures, both serving and former governors, ministers, senators, legislators, party chieftains, activists, and analysts. Get first-hand information into the decision-making processes that affect our daily lives. Highly engaging one-hour program that brings political discourse into focus.
I am Chukwuma Okoro.
Political Lens, Monday through Friday, 6 to 7 p.m. Join us. In a world where truth is the ultimate power and opinions scream the loudest, it's time to wade through the noise.
Hunger no get tribe! Hunger no get religion!
And scan the human interest and trending topics that matter. Stay tuned to The Issues, your plug to the stories making the buzz, from politics to science and technology, social justice, and more. Let's tackle the tough questions and expose the truth. The Issues, on Voice of the People Television, Mondays to Fridays, 8 to 9 p.m. The Issues. Don't just react, understand.
In a world where power shifts with every headline.
In a nation full of questions.
In a world filled with noise, the truth needs the voice.
The policies that shapes our world and the economy that determines our future.
Every hour, every day, the grapevine keeps buzzing. And together, we are committed to telling the stories that shape our world, because your voice is our focus.
Don't forget, our voice matters the most. Let us come together and share our concerns.
In a world where power shifts with every headlines, news breaks and events happens, We bring you unbiased and explicit information on politics, economy, and state of the nation. We break down the chaos. Facts, not fluff. Truth, not spin. We discuss not just politics, but a glimpse into the future. Voice of the People Television. Now you have more than a voice.
Good evening, Africa. My name is Mama Kore, actor, model, producer, and I'm giving a big shout out to VOP TV, man. Keep watching. Don't change the dial. Thank you and God bless you.
My name is AY, and of course, I represent the voice of the people, and that's why I'm on VOP. AY say so.
Hi everyone, it's your girl Miriam Tima from the Real Housewives of Lagos and the Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip Africa. Shout out to VOP, the voice of the people. You already know, stay